Hi, Abby. Hi, Sam. Um, I just wanted to ask you guys what you think about Christmas when you hear that word, or when you. Now, Christmas actually is so early. Like in October, you start seeing Christmas cards and lights and all the bits that go with Christmas. So, Abby, first, when it's Christmas time, what comes to you? What do you see? Imagine Christmas is. Oh no, what do you imagine? What is your experience of Christmas? Yeah, that's a better word.
And definitely family, because that's the one time when you can all just be still. I just love the fact that, no shops are open. You're almost forced to be within your family's company, and it's always a great laugh. You always find ways to entertain yourself throughout the day, eating loads, drinking loads. My mum starts cooking bright and early, so we're already thinking and eating from the get-go. There's no breakfast, no cereal. It's straight jollof rice for breakfast, and it's just a brilliant time to spend with your family. I love giving gifts. I love seeing what how people react to the presents I've given them. It's just, Christmas is always special, to be honest.
Sam?
Yeah, I think mine is quite similar to Abid's. So I love giving gifts. I love just spending time with my family. It's the one day where everyone's at home and we're just eating, watching Christmas movies, and in our PJs. And my mom loves to make like a sit-down breakfast. So she goes all out, gets new like cutlery, and she enjoys making Christmas breakfast. And last year, I actually spent Christmas with Abby and her family, and that was really fun, and we ate so much.
Okay, so Christmas sounds like a fun time. A family sort of. I like the way Abby said that we sort of get to, somehow we're forced to spending time with members of our family that we see all year, but we don't have that good length of time to share. So it sounds like Christmas is fun in your homes.
Yeah,
okay. And does it, do you do all these things about like Christmas, like shopping and giving gifts, so, or do you have like a ritual or a culture in your family that's peculiar to you guys?
With my family, we do we have this like gifts presentation every year. So we won't, most families open their gifts early in the morning, but my mum makes us wait till almost close to the evening, which is quite hard for like my younger sister, who obviously wants to Snapchat all her presents. So, and then we do it like name by name, and like we have to make a song and dance about every gift that's open. It is fun to be honest, but sometimes it could be quite stressful, especially when I now have a nephew and he's quite small, so he just sees any gift and he's like, yeah, I want to know what it is. So yeah.
So your tradition around gifts and opening them is that they're sort of at the end of Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Whilst most people do them, I know people who do them Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, sometimes just after lunch. So you guys you have to wait
Yeah.
till the evening comes. And you, Sam?
Yeah, ours is quite similar. My mom likes everyone to sit down, and we have to dress up as well. She wants everyone to wear heels, makeup for breakfast. And then after breakfast, you're then allowed to open your Christmas presents. And me and my brother, we don't like surprises. So we already know what we're going to get anyway. And most times we probably open them before Christmas Day. But on the day, we act shocked and surprised. But really, we knew what we got.
So do you still do that? I can imagine you doing that when you were younger, both of you, like going to. So do you get a tree? Do you put a tree up?
Yeah, no, we still put them underneath the tree, but we know what they are.
So you used to sneak and open the boxes, or
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And now you're older. Do you still do that?
No, because I know what she would have got me anyway, so I don't need to open it.
Okay, so there's no surprise in your house.
No.
No. So you don't hint like. I was having a conversation earlier, and sometimes we hint about the Christmas present. So you're talking to a friend and saying, you know what, I really would like that dress I saw in wherever you buy your clothes, H&M or Topshop or something. and it's only £20, and you're saying it so that your sibling or mom or boyfriend or somebody can hear you, and then when you get the dress you're surprised because it was something you wanted, but you wanted somebody else to buy for you. So no surprises in your house.
No, I make you a list of what Sam wants and then give you the link. You just need to order it.
I like that. So what Sam wants for Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like it's a good time and a happy time for you guys, but do you sort of think about people who maybe are even forced to be with family they don't like much, or are really having a difficult time, or maybe even homeless, at that time, don't sort of can't cook, or there's nobody actually there to spend Christmas with. So does your thinking sort of go towards those people?
I think with me, not so, for past Christmases, I've never really crossed my mind. I always just believe that everyone's just one day that everyone in the world is having a magical time. But lockdown and hearing some of the news articles that came out about people having to quarantine with family members, and how the numbers of abuse has risen dramatically. That's when I kind of realized so Christmas isn't as magical as I thought it would be. Having to be stuck in a house with families that are abusive and are doing bad things. So yeah, it's definitely food for thought. And even the homeless, and obviously homelessness doesn't just go away. So what do they do on Christmas? How do they celebrate? How do they make it special? It's quite sad to think about.
Sam?
Yeah, I mean, before the pandemic, it's not something that crossed my mind. I just assumed, if you don't have family, you have friends, you always have someone that you can spend the day with. But I think now, especially with the recession, I can just imagine people who've lost their jobs and who have kids and they're not able to get them Christmas presents. And we live in a social media world, so I already know that my brother is waiting to show the world his PlayStation when he gets it. We're fortunate enough that we can get him that PlayStation, but I know parents that won't be able to get their kids gifts, so it's going to be a sad day for a lot of kids maybe watching Snapchat and seeing what all their friends got. So thinking about that is quite sad.
I think there is this, I don't want to call it a misconception, but in some ways it is, where we all imagine that Christmas is magical, people have loads to eat. The amount of excessive shopping we do, that most of it actually ends up in the bin, that actually somebody is homeless, somebody who is on the street will be on the street, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, doesn't make a difference to what's happening. And I think now, in this time, COVID, loads of people have lost things. They've lost loved ones, they've lost jobs, they've lost homes. So it's going to maybe be a more challenging year for most, just as, you guys have shared that it will be a time where people may be struggling like they haven't before. People who are experiencing abuse will be stuck with the abuser or the perpetrator. So I think in some way talking about it will open people's minds and eyes. So I'm going to plug, there are some organizations, some churches, Crisis is one, they do an excellent job. I volunteered for them, sort of getting ready. We used to get ready warehouses for homeless people, and they would come, and then there was a shift. But even now with COVID, that might not be something they would be able to offer, because they're usually enclosed spaces, and it would be difficult to sort of offer that meter distancing, social distancing that we all can do naturally. So yeah, I think I know churches provide lunches and things, but it's good, I think, for us to bear in mind that this Christmas particularly might be difficult for some families or individuals. Okay, so what's your favorite Christmas thing? Because now both of you, Abigail, what's...
I think mine's food.
Okay, is there something something you eat at Christmas that we probably don't eat for the rest of the year or most of the year?
It's the sausage with the bacon around it.
I think it's called Fools on Horseback back or something like that.
I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But we always make sure we get
The
it.
blanket.
Oh, no.
Yes, pigs in blankets.
Oh. Why don't we eat this all the time? This is delicious. But yeah, that's my favorite.
That's your favorite Christmas.
Yeah, and stuffing. I like stuffing too.
Okay, Sam.
I think mine is ice cream and cake. It's not something that I eat on a daily basis, but I've noticed that around Christmas, chocolate cake and vanilla ice cream is my go-to dessert, and I'm not ashamed to eat it because it's Christmas.
So
I'm not allowed.
Christmas cake for either of you. Nobody's saying anything about Christmas cake. No.
Is that the one with raisins? No.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay, so I wish you both a really wonderful Christmas time. Enjoy.
And you too.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your Christmas too.
Yes.
Thank you. When you hear the word Christmas, what do you think?
Think of family time and celebration.
Do you remember your first Christmas? Or what's your first memory of Christmas?
Eating food, opening presents, I think, and I think snow.
Okay, so your first Christmas was in England.
Yeah,
or your first memories of...
My first memories of Christmas. So I spent the first 5-6 years of my life in Great Britain.
Okay. All right. So it was snow, presents.
Yeah. And eating.
Kind of okay. And eating.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite Christmas thing?
I think it's about slowing down and being with people you really care about and enjoying whatever meal comes in the afternoon. Presents are a bonus, but I think it's really, for me, it's about slowing down and spending time with my family.
Okay, so it's like remembering to enjoy life for a bit.
Most definitely, because we all live stressed and very hurried lives. And I think that Christmas period is something around remembering the birth of Christ, remembering the lowly circumstance in which he came to life, and being thankful for what you got. And I think sometimes in the hustle and bustle of life, we're too busy chasing the next big thing that we forget to take care of the basics. And the basics about rest, relaxation, and thankfulness. So I think that's what Christmas does for me.
Okay, good. I think one of my favorite names for Jesus is the unspeakable gift. Yeah. And I think Christmas is the time that we really remember God's gift to us, which is the unspeakable gift. Do you have a family ritual that you do?
Yeah, I think we pray into the Christmas morning. We have Christmas tree from December. We have Christmas stockings, and we pile all our gifts under the Christmas tree. We eat probably around 6 o'clock, and there are lots and lots of kind of snacks and treats. So yeah, it's full of activity. So yes, praying into the morning is something we do.
Yes, that's your ritual. Yeah. And do you just have... Who does the cooking? I was going to ask about who comes around.
It depends. Sometimes I do cooking. I think most of the time I do the cooking on Christmas, because the roasts and the ideas of what we're going to cook come from me. My wife does cooking most of the other time, so Christmas time I do most of the cooking.
Take over.
At least I've done it mostly.
Okay. Do men feel under pressure about Christmas in general?
No, I think I can only speak for myself. I don't feel under. I feel under pressure to make sure my children appreciate what they get. I feel under pressure to make sure that the food I cook is good and people enjoy it. But I feel under pressure mostly to actually, paradoxically speaking, relax and enjoy the day without overstressing.
Yeah.
So
I think. Yeah, I think a lot of time we can stress so much on the day, then you sort of are so tired you can't enjoy the food.
Not enjoy the day,
like you want it to be over. So do you have just your nuclear family, or do you have extended family?
Most definitely. The last number of years I can remember is nuclear family only. And sometimes I have my mother-in-law around.
Okay.
So yeah, other than that, no.
Okay, just family, close family.
Yeah.
Okay. Who does the washing up?
We share it. I'm a dishwasher.
Who does the pans?
Oh well, I do the pans. Sometimes kind of washing up I do is not up to standard, but we do it together.
You can tell the things I hate about Christmas and those pans.
Yeah, we do it together.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
So Christmas to me is about family. Mm-hmm. It's about love, and obviously for me, as a Christian, practicing Catholic, it's about the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. Around Christmas time, we have various honorary days, we honor Christ the King, so it's very focused on the birth, the nativity, and the arrival of this new hope into the world. Mm-hmm. And that is what Christmas means to us as well.
Okay, so it sounds that there's a lot of build up to that actual day in the days that you actually take out. We sort of get that in Advent calendars, and some Christian faiths don't actually practice that countdown anymore, but you coming from a Catholic background do. So it's family, it's love, it is of course reminding us about the hope that we have in our Lord Jesus Christ. Isaiah, you've got a really big name, like come on, like why did mom give you that big name? But what does Christmas mean for you?
Christmas to me, like as a kid, I think of it as like presents. But if I'm thinking about it as a Christian, I think of the birth of the new covenant and the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, and how he's not only saving Israelites, he's saving the whole world from original sin.
Oh, great. So for you, Mom even looks surprised, right? So she's thinking all that time she was dragging you to church and you made you take part in paying off. So what about school? What happens in school? What happens about Christmas in school?
Right now we'll talk about the Last Supper. We haven't started talking about Christmas yet. Mm-hmm. But in year 6 we were talking about Christmas and like how like it wasn't like the nativity and how Mary went to like had to like go to inns and like kept knocking on their doors and no one let them in, and how Jesus the King was only born in a stack of hay.
Wow, you are good. She's having a proud moment there, I can tell.
Yes.
But when it comes to, we sort of imagine that, we're going to get presents. So do you sort of have a build up? Do you like, sometimes we used to have this little card saying, I've been a good boy, so Santa is coming to visit. So do you have like a list that you put out and you hope somebody's going to give this to you?
Not really. Like usually I just speak it in existence. Sometimes around my mom I'm just like talking about like what I want, but like I'm not actually talking to her, I'm talking to my brother, and I just usually think that she's listening.
I like that because you're using two ways of doing it. So you're speaking it into being prophetically, like your name means, and then you're hoping mom is going to overhear. So you're just sort of dropping hints for her to, like, really, she has to pick up that this is what I want for Christmas. So who else gets presents for you? Who else gives you presents?
My mom's friend Sarah, my grandma, Auntie Emily, and my uncle Kwesi, and basically all my family.
Great. And who do you give presents to?
Last year I gave it to my uncle. So I didn't have that much money. I only had about £10, and most of the presents were quite expensive, like £5 each. I was able to give it to to 2 people.
Okay.
If I was able to give it to more people, I would.
Okay, so you had to decide who was going to get this Christmas present.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you sort of link Christmas and the presents? Do you get the symbolism of it? Because you're quite an astute young man.
Not really.
Okay, all right. Okay, because Christmas actually, when we give one another gifts, we are reminding ourselves of the gift that God gave to us when He gave us His only begotten Son. So the gifts are a way of saying, actually, this is how I love you. Remember that God loves you more, and He gave you something more important. So just to bear that in mind when you're sharing gifts or cards. So it doesn't really matter whether they're gifts or cards or hugs, or actually when we do say Merry Christmas, that's what we're telling people, that remember, God gave you the most precious gift in the world, His only begotten Son. What does Christmas mean to you?
Hi. Family, food, gathering with family and friends. It kind of takes me back to when I was in Nigeria, growing up. It's all about food, and your mom kind of sewing you that new material, a dress, and you get really, really excited about it. Not so much, getting presents. And I think I started to kind of realize the presents when I moved to Edinburgh many years ago. And, my friends were like, "Oh, what are you getting for Christmas?" I'm like, nothing. So what do you mean? Like, because I'm not used to getting presents. I'm just used to getting, new dress being sewn, and we get really excited about that. And, the older I got, I was beginning to share that, presents as well. And it also reminds me, as we've all said, the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. I love the nativity shows. When my son was younger, he gets really excited about it. And Christmas is all about, hope, love, and sharing as well. I'm a great advocate when it comes to sharing things. I want other people to feel as happy as I am when I get gifts, so I love to give. So yeah, Christmas is about, love, hope, food, and time with families.
Yeah, and I think you brought out something quite interesting, actually, the cultural dynamic, which is different from Nigeria, where there was a lot of build-up. What you're saying is that there's a build-up. I know I'm going to get a new dress. There's loads of people, lots of cooking. But this idea of Christmas and giving actually individual gifts wasn't something that was practiced. But when you moved here, that sort of got added into it. Added into it. Okay, great. Miss Georgina.
Yeah.
So what do you do for your? So where do you spend Christmas? Where do you spend it?
So it would either be at my mum's house or my cousin Kwesi, because he has a large family. He's got 3 children who are here with him in the UK. So we tend to go there, and they're younger as well, so it's easier to go there.
So do you cook something, or you just leave it to somebody else to do?
Well, his wife loves to cook. If I can, I'll try and take, a little something to put on the table. But yeah.
Okay. What about you, Emily? Do you cook on Christmas Day? Do you cook on Christmas Day?
Yes, I love to cook. I invite my friends to come around, and I like people around me. I like, that hospitality, and just making sure that people have enough to eat, and making the different types of food, Nigerian food, as well as your roast lamb. We tend not to eat chicken or turkey. So I love having guests around.
Okay. Isaiah, what's your favorite thing about the foods? Because now we're talking about food. What's your favorite food at Christmas time? What is it that you look forward to that we don't eat every day?
Probably what I do sometimes is in primary we had these Yorkshires and Brussels sprouts. And I love putting like the Brussels sprouts in the Yorkshire. I have like a combination.
That's a great combo, right? Not even fools on what is it called? Fools on horseback or something. You know, with the bacon and the sausage parts. So yeah, because Brussels sprouts and I think it's something we tend to eat only Christmas time, and turkey, which Emily says she's not a great lover of. So so what do you? So you get to go to your cousins or grandma, yeah?
Yeah.
So who does the washing up? Who does the washing up?
Most of the time I really don't see it because usually I'm playing with my cousins.
Wow, I like your So you don't get assigned like somebody has to wash those horrible oven dishes. They're the worst.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Christmas pudding? Who likes Christmas pudding?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You like Christmas pudding?
I don't like.
No.
No. So what do you
I'm
have
a
for
baker,
dinner?
so
Oh, okay. So
I'm
you
a
bake
baker,
something?
so I bake. Yeah, I bake. I'll make cheesecake or make like Victoria sponge. So I don't like Christmas pudding. I think Christmas pudding is overrated.
So who is the hardcore person who must have Christmas pudding? Is there somebody in your family who must have Christmas pudding? Isaiah.
Mostly my auntie Mari.
So she's hardcore. Does she enjoy it, or she's just like, this is tradition?
I think she usually likes it.
The custard and
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that happiness, joy, and smile. Then second thing is was Jesus Christ born in 25th December? That comes to my mind too. You know, but,
one of those children who made a fuss and asked your mother.
exactly. Was he actually born on the 25th of December? Okay.
So I think that was a bit of man-making calendar.
I tell you, but you know, it's fun. It reminds me of happiness, joy, because you know, anytime we think about Christmas, we get that that bubbly feelings of excitement. So Christmas reminds me of fun and happiness, to be honest.
Okay, so it's a fun time for you. It's a happy time.
It is. It is.
Do you remember, what were your sort of first memories, or what was Christmas like for you as a child?
Wow. I think the first time I actually remembered Christmas was, I think, the age of 6. I woke up one morning, Christmas morning, and I looked underneath my pillows and found out I had a few toys underneath my pillow. So, so that was the memory, and I can never forget the toy. It was the first one. The one I really preferred was the ice cream man. You wind it, and the bicycle move, and it plays a sound. So I knew, that gave me that, that line that was, Christmas. Through that, when I asked my parents why and questions, and it was my Christmas gift.
Okay, so it was the first time you actually remember. I'm sure they had been giving you, but I think it was quite poignant for you that particular Christmas, because you're still
absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you celebrate Christmas?
I think we've celebration normally. The two celebrations in Africa, we celebrate family, friends, extended families. We have people we don't even know walking into the house, and we all eat and celebrate Christmas that way. We have there wasn't really towards towards my older period during Christmas. There wasn't really gifts in Nigeria, but on the flip side here is just the immediate families that we celebrate Christmas with and share gifts and the rest to our immediate families and send cards out to our external families. So that's how we actually celebrated Christmas, and normal Christmas dinner, Christmas breakfast, and the traditional way here too also.
I'm sorry. So how did you blend? How did you blend both cultures?
It's just it's different in two ways. That one situation when you celebrate Christmas, you have friends, people walk into your door and celebrate with you. There's more excitement, having that kind of celebration whereby you meet new people, you meet your cousins you've not seen for a long period of time. But I think over here it's a bit quite isolated in the sense that in the UK it's a bit isolated in the sense that you spend Christmas with your families and say after Christmas Day, then you can go see your family. But on a Christmas Day, you're just tied down to family itself.
Oh, in Africa, the community celebrates together.
Absolutely.
Here is the nuclear family celebrating.
Absolutely, correct.
Perhaps the gift that was given is the gift of love and community, and of course welcoming strangers.
Absolutely.
But here also
that community spirit. A lot. There was that community spirit in Africa. Yeah.
And here it's just the nuclear family and
absolutely
the one-on-one sort of present buying and gifting. And I think we've just heard of our Christmas arrangements for this year, which is different of the restrictions and the lockdown and COVID. So how do you think that will impact people this time?
Like I said, the dynamics of Christmas for me is not really going to affect me that much because I'm used to just the immediate family having Christmas together. But for the wider, in a bigger perspective, when it comes to families meeting together, I think that's going to be a big crush for them because they want to come together. People want to see themselves. People want to share gifts. People want to share love. So I think it's going to be heartbreaking not to be able to see your grandchild or not be able to see your cousins during the Christmas period. So I think it's going to be a very difficult time for some people.
For some people, yeah. And what expectations? Actually, let me ask: do men feel pressured at Christmas time, especially to come up with gifts and all kinds of?
That's 100% for sure. And in as much as I said, Christmas brings me that joy. It reminds you of happiness and joy, but still, you've got to think about the financial part.
Yes, that's right.
You've got to think about the financial part, and that's when your best mathematical skills actually comes out and you start doing all your calculations towards that period. So it could be very traumatic in some ways financially. In some ways financially, but it could be very, very traumatic financially, especially if you don't have that money.
For a man, or because
for a man, for a man, because everything is expected, and when you have 4 daughters who are expecting every single thing, then you have to really panic.
So this is just not the one birthday now.
No,
one person is like 4 birthdays at least.
The big list, massive lists. So you have to meet up to that expectation.
So we know the financial part, but the emotion, are we expecting?
Now, with financial parts, emotional parts must be attached to financial stuff. Because when you don't have, or even though you do have, and you have exactly what you need to give out at that point in time, and there's nothing left in your account, then that emotional, expectation begins to hit. So,
So you begin to panic?
You begin to panic, and it's both ways, in the sense that if you don't give them what they want to, also emotionally, that expectation rises.
Yeah. I think that's where I was going, that if you don't meet that mark, then there is their disappointment, and
Absolutely.
then you have to manage their disappointment and yours, in that you didn't meet their expectation. Especially, obviously if the list is sort of way out, then it's way out. But I think maybe in terms of when it just isn't there to meet, not you particularly, but just men in general, where there isn't enough. And of course, there's a whole month of January ahead that we have to look after, or maybe even dad isn't working.
Yeah.
Or, especially in this time where there's been, people have lost their jobs or are on furlough. So the children will still write their lists, because dad is superhero and is Superman, and he's supposed to bring something out of that cape, So how does a man work out that disappointment? Because there'll be sort of people watching who know it may be a challenge for them.
No, I think you just have to put up that smile and go back in your bedroom and pull your hair a little bit. But once you're out in front of the kids and family, have that smile, the Christmas spirit. Then go in the bedroom and knock your head on the wall.
Oh. Now I have visions of men putting their hair out and knocking it on the wall. But so what would be the hope? After they've done that, the hope would be, you still have a family who love you. And it's not about the one. It's not about the one.
Keep your family.
And there is, of course, the hope that's the hope of Christmas, and they will still have a good Christmas anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what would you leave us with in terms of Christmas, the joy, the happiness, and what to hope for?
Yeah, I think we are in a very, very tight situation based on the pandemic. We, as long as we have life, there is hope. As long as we have our family around us, there is hope. So for this Christmas period, it's very important that we enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, and it's not in all cases we can give Christmas gift as people expect it to be. But the most important thing there is just to have that smile and enjoy the moment and be content with what we have, to have a great celebration this year.
Yeah, I think it's enjoying the moment, and even if you don't have to give all that you wanted to give, there is always another chance to do that. But the love and the moment will only be here, in the here and now, I think.
It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, it's Christmas Eve. The presents are wrapped and they're under the tree. It's Christmas Eve, it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, it's Christmas Eve. I'll never get to sleep tonight. I have another song. Go on. It's called It's Busy, 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 and Bethlehem today. It's busy, 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 and there's nowhere to stay. We knocked on every door, but there's no room There's no room. There's no room for any more. It's a squash. It's a squeeze. Everywhere is mazy. It's a squash. It's a squeeze. Everywhere is foam. There's a great big star in the sky tonight. Shining, shining bright. There's a great big star in the sky tonight. So the kings can't follow its light. To the stable in Bethlehem, so they can't worship him. To the stable in Bethlehem, so they can't worship him. There's a great big star in the sky tonight, shining, shining bright. There's a great big star in the sky tonight, so the kings can't follow its light. To the stable in Bethlehem, so they can't worship him. To the stable in Bethlehem, so they can't worship him.
No. I'm sure there's more.
3 kings going on a journey. 3 kings traveling far. 3 kings going on a journey, following our star. From 3 kings ride on the hamels. 3 kings bumping around. 3 kings going on the journey, riding on the hamels, heading into town with gold and frankincense and myrrh. These are the gifts for the baby. Gold and frankincense and myrrh. These are the presents for him.
That was absolutely amazing.
It's Christmas time, a time of Thanksgiving, and I've come to say thank you to my guests who have come to share their work, come to share their experience in the mental health field, the guests who've shared their personal journeys, and of course, everyone who's watched and is still watching and continue to share, and the feedback has been amazing. I want to say thank you from my heart. I want to wish you the very best in this season. And of course, I wish you the most amazing year in 2021. Thank you for watching Conversations with Lydia.